Balance is something that is crucial in all fighting games, and like fashion, is never finished. Tekken is no exception to this. Balance patch 5.00 is out, as well as the new wall crush mechanic. Today, I'm going over changes for Lars. Let's go. Starting with the star of the show, Windliger, back 1+2. Patch notes: change the opponent's behavior on first attack counter hit, once holding great evasive properties, going under highs, and even some mids. 22 frames of total animation, mid-mid, 28 damage, +6 on hit, wall splits, only -11 on block. Perhaps underutilized by a good chunk of Lars players. Maybe. The new Windliger is still only -11 on block. Same hit properties, same wall split, but now is a counter hit launcher with the same level of evasion. This is most definitely a buff for Lars. Chevron Slash, once Lars's premier sidestep stopper, in an advantageous way of going into dynamic entry on counter hit. It may very well take a backseat to Windliger, at least temporarily if nothing else. It is a new toy, after all. +6 on normal hit as opposed to +4, and a homing counter hit launcher as opposed to a knockdown to set up ground game. The other patch note for Lars is for double pulse from dynamic entry or forward, 4-3. Change the opponent's behavior on hit/counter hit, wall crush inducing hit is implemented. Once upon a time +3 on hit, and leaving your opponent relatively close, it is now +8 on hit and pushes your opponent further away. This pushback may seem like a nerf at first, but I say it's merely the balance part of the patch, because you certainly have some options after tagging an opponent. Elbow Corona can reach your opponent, and as Lars can be so silently sneaky with his built-in evasion, it can go underneath a high attack or two. But with the forward input adding time for the move to come out, it can be plain interrupted by a high as well. It could also be sidestepped to your opponent's right shoulder, but will clip them if they go left. With +8 frames here, double tap is an okay option. The first punch can be backdash, the whole thing can be sidestepped to your opponent's left shoulder, but can clip them if they move to their right, but may not necessarily do so every single time. Impulse Plus is a great option. There is no time to sidestep or interrupt the attack. However, that shiny new Windliger is tempting to go for here. It will evade highs, and a mid attack like a 13 frame down forward 1 will trade. Of course, there is no sidestepping this move. It's almost like the devs designed these two moves to go together. Though I'm only trying to read the tea leaves there. Lastly, let's look at the new mechanic of Wall Crush. Patch note: the attacked character can block while being wall crushed. They will be at a big disadvantage as the recovery is long. This attack also forces crouch. Now I think this is going to make people break their control. Imagine running into Cuddle Cord ranked and just being toyed with this wall crush being implemented over and over. Don't have to combo you to death. Don't want to. Instead, you get to play the 50-50 game over and over, because that's what this is. The game devs have to be sadists to put this in the game. This is all about defense if you're on the receiving end of this new madness. The game is asking the question, how good is your defense, and dare you attempt to dick jab? Lars has to take a big risk, in the spirit of his character, to get his wall crush going. Coming out of double pulse, the disadvantage to your opponent seems to run between 17 and 19 frames, depending on distance to a wall. You can go into a dynamic entry mix here with varying results depending on who wins the guessing game. It would be nice to get a free silent entry here, but it takes too long. Your opponent can recover before any attack comes out. I also tried out Lightning Assault, hopeful that the mid attack would clip an opponent attempting a Wild Rising move. Alas, a Lightning Assault mid-high threat can be beaten by a Rising 4, though it is viable against other Rising moves, just not all of them. Windliger is viable here, the new sidestep stopper and launcher if they press, but you do get a Rising 2 that is completely uninterruptible. Beats out Dick Jab and an 11 frame Wild Rising 4. Those who are savagely creative will definitely find some great Lars flair and trickery here. I have an entire video dedicated to this guy with the crazy hair and some good strings, linked in the right hand corner, and at the end of this vid if you're just getting into Lars or want to add something to your game. From where I sit, for Lars it's all buffs and no nerfs. He's not quite on metabolics, but he is getting closer. That's Balance Patch 5.0 for Lars. I'm Audi 5000.